really got the builders tight. Grinding projects day and night. From Shape to Discord, we was deep. Building worlds while cities sleep. December 16th, we hit submit. Now we waiting, can't quit. Paris, Berlin, NYC flows. SF coding, everybody knows. We've been building, now we waiting. Future worlds, anticipating. Using alchemy, keeping it clean. Building dreams on the blockchain scene. Deeper avatars in the game. OTTM worlds ain't the same. Virtual lands and fitness plans. Future sitting in builders' hands. 4 weeks grinding, no time to rest. Put our hearts through every test. Now January feeling so far, while we wondering where we are. The waiting game. Hearts on fire. Million in grants still in sight. Building futures, doing it right. Shape community standing strong. While we wait and sing this song. 3 more weeks till they decide who gonna take that $250,000 ride. But win or lose, we built it true. Forever worlds coming through. Building Shapecraft. January 9th. We wait. We ate.
Oh man, that's such a good intro. I absolutely love it. Hello everybody, welcome to the Shapecraft closing ceremonies. I'm Dan and here's Han. We are super excited for everyone to be here today. This whole event was an absolute blast. I was really thrilled with just how many amazing people showed up. We had 700 people from all over the world at registration day. And of those 700 people, 30 of you stuck it out with your team for 4 weeks to submit a project. And judging was not easy. I don't know about you, Han, but I thought it was so hard to pick from all of these projects because you guys built absolutely amazing projects. The teams that really stuck it out showed that they were here. They understood what we were trying to get across with Shapecraft. They showed that they have incredible talents. And I am just like honored to be here with all of you. So yeah, any words that you want to add to that, Han?
Oh, man. Likewise. I mean, all the projects that I saw were so deeply kind of thought out, and some of them really floored me with this kind of like world building that they had done. And I could see like all the things they could do from here on. And so I was both humbled and so happy to see all the things that these people had created. And I can't wait to kind of go over all this stuff. I've been looking forward to this, to see all the, show the projects to everybody. So really excited for today.
Yeah, there's this kind of like amazing thing where we were like talking about Shapecraft, and it's like we kind of have like this vague idea of what we think it's going to be, but then you guys bring the life, you bring the energy, and you really brought it here. And yeah, let's just get underway with the prizes then. That's what we're all here for. So super excited. Like I said, so many amazing projects to choose from. So even if you did not receive a prize here, we do want to let you all know that we were just completely blown away with everything that came through. You should be super proud. I think Talon Dragon said this in the Discord. You should be super proud of your submission. Everybody who worked really hard to get to this point. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump on into the slideshow here. So let's do it. Okay. So off the top of the gate, one thing I wanted to address here, there was some questions in the Discord. There are 3 categories for the prizes. Initially, when we launched here, there were 4 categories for the prizes. What ended up happening here is we noticed during judging that there was a ton of overlap and actually not many projects that were strictly existing worlds. So we ended up merging this into the main track, and this only benefited the projects that were in existing worlds. Just wanted to give you guys the heads up. So now we have the main track here which we're going to be presenting towards the end. The Eye and the Key will be first, Storyweaving, and the main track. So among the 15 teams that were selected and presented as winners on Twitter yesterday, you will have received one of these prizes, maybe multiple of them, but at least one of these, whether it's the Eye and the Key, Storyweaving, or something from the main track. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. So the Eye and the Key, as a sort of recap for the Eye and the Key, for anybody who's not aware of it and is tuning in today, the idea behind these two projects here is that these are NFT collections that you could be using in your project during Shapecraft. So the Eye is actually a collection by Quibibi. It was an awesome artist who did this as an NFT collection. It's actually called Awakened, and the distribution is out there. There's I think a couple hundred of these that are available. And then there is the key that was distributed through a game during the Shapecraft Hackathon. Some of you earned that. I know we had like 1,500 or so of these keys distributed. You're also going to, for submitting a valid project, receive 7 more keys. So there are going to be a lot more keys distributed from there. And these, the Eye and the Key, 10 projects, well, actually more than that, but at least the 10 projects that I'm going to point out here took these 2 NFT collections and implemented them in their games in some interesting, unique way that we really wanted to highlight and reward, and we're super excited about that. Cool. All right, so $1,000 per these winners. Here are the first 5. There are 5 more. So the first 5 are Shapecraft Survivors. Shapecraft Survivors is this really cool game where, if any of you have played, I believe it's called Vampire Survivors. It's like you have this little thing that goes around and like hits things, and then you like level up as you attack more monsters and gain more XP. This was that game created from scratch from somebody who was new to game development. I'm super excited about this. They incorporated the Eye and the Key in a way to do token gating for their game, but also to give you extra superpowers, where the actual weapon inside the Shapecraft Survivors was the Eye and the Key implemented inside there. And we thought that was super cool. NFT Animate made this the token gated access to the animation controls. So if you take a look at this project, you'll see that you can like animate like a DeepL, have like text above it. And one of the things that you get access to via the key is the animation control. Adventurers Arena has unlockable skins. I thought this was a really great use, and a couple people did this for the Shapecraft Key and the Eye, is make it so that anyone who's holding them gets these unlockable skins. Where gaming is going today, you see that a lot of people really like enjoy the skins, and this is a really good like way to be able to reward people in your community. And I think that that's just super cool, is this idea of unlockable skins. Adventurers Arena is a 1v1 game that's like kind of like a chess duel. And the ability to be able to show off to your opponent and be able to like see the game in a different skin is just really, really cool. And you get that unlocked with the Eye and the Key. Meme Forge, they have like an extra feature that's gated. It's an AI feature that's gated to the key. So that's something that is added in there as well. Laser Kitty is this project where you can kind of like blast all these elements all around the screen. We thought it was super, super fun. And one of the things that you can do in there is unlock these extra traits on your kitty that are only unlockable via having these NFT collections. Cool. And the next 5, we have ShapeXP. So ShapeXP, this project actually is specifically catered towards NFTs. So the idea is that you gain experience points on your NFT. We'll hear more about this a little bit later. But you gain NFT points or XP points on your NFT, and the Eye and the Key specifically are available to be used in this, can be implemented in here, and you could gain XP towards it. So we thought that was a super novel way of using these. Dungeonverse actually rendered these in a 3D dungeon, which we thought was super cool and very visual. Sum Pact has like these unlockable mazes. So there's these mazes that you can play that are like things that you can fight other people with, and you get special abilities like the Eye, I believe, allows you to move multiple spots. So you get like this additional ability to use via these NFT collections. Heavy Helms is another one that has an unlockable skin collection from being able to use these. And then Latch, you can import these items into the game world. And we thought that was a super great use case of this as well. Great. Anything you'd like to add on the eye and the key there, Han? Is there?
Yeah, I think we did the eye and the key kind of category because we wanted to encourage people to, given these NFTs that were created, create use cases out of them. And then so many of these use cases were things that I did not imagine. And so when I saw them, I was like, wow, this is really cool. Like when I was playing one of the games and it had the I think it was the eye that appeared. I was like, whoa, that's really cool. This was really good.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me on this. Yeah, this was like one of the things we really struggled with was how do we get folks to be able to collaborate together during a hackathon when it's very competitive and there's time constraints, right? Like everyone here worked around, like I'm sure many other responsibilities that they had going on in order to be able to submit these projects. So the eye and the key is actually a really cool way where all these projects have already collaborated. That's what's kind of crazy about this hackathon is when you think about it, each one of these projects already interoperate in some way, right? Because if you can bring the same data to each one of these games, they're already connected, right? This is kind of like a metaversey sort of thing, right? Like you can imagine your key in each one of these things and they're implemented in each one of these things and they have different abilities. And yeah, like Han said, like things that we didn't even imagine, right? Like the ability to have special powers in some of these games is just super, super cool and really creative. Awesome. Cool. So the next category of prizes is story weaving. So the idea behind story weaving was another category that we wanted to add to make it so that we can highlight the additional game lore or assets or anything aesthetically like being able to build up projects so that you could have this like collaborative sort of metaversey where you have like many projects that are like working together. So we really wanted to highlight these projects, the ones that have shown some sort of unique style or aesthetic inside of their project. So for story weaving, we have 5 projects that all won 2,500 per project. These are those 5 projects. They are Heavy Helms, Hometown, 77 Million Stories, Shapetown, and Latch. Like we said, we were just completely blown away with the creativity of all of these projects. And these ones specifically stood out to the judges as far as this aesthetic, as far as this like composability across all these different projects. You can imagine. So I know we may hear about some of these a little bit more. For Hometown, being able to bring your avatar across all these different worlds and have like this great sprite work that you can imagine being everywhere. You could also see like just some of the great artwork that is being done in all the rest of these projects as well. Shapetown, Latch, 77 Million Stories, and Heavy Helms as well. So we really wanted to point that out with the judges. And so these are the 5 projects that won in the story weaving. And then there is one top prize for the story weaving, which goes to Sum Pact. This one really stood out to the judges in terms of the art and especially how that art interweaves with the gameplay itself. We're just super impressed by this. I think the website is one of the best looking websites I've seen. Like, I don't say that lightly. Like, it's pretty impressive that this is a hackathon project in terms of aesthetics. Like, it feels really, really nicely put together, and was just super impressed by that. So, great job to the team over there. Cool. All right, let's get into the main track. How do we get pumped up? All right, do we turn up the music? I don't know. The music's a little louder. Here we go. You guys ready? Is there a drum roll effect? Can we do a drum roll effect? I could see some people backstage are going to talk about their projects and they're getting excited. I can see the excitement in their face. It's building. All right, here we go. Main track. All right, so first off, we have 0x Arcade, and here to join us to talk about 0x Arcade is Scoble. We'll bring Scoble up on stage. Welcome, Scoble.
I thought I was going to get a warning. You guys are quick. How are you guys doing? Thanks. Good to be here. Thanks for this, too. This is awesome. Just finding out about this now.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're super excited to have you up here on stage. And for everyone who's going to be talking about their projects, what I'd love to hear from you is maybe tell us a little bit about your project, maybe any future plans that you have for it, and something that you loved about Shapecraft. That's what we'd love to hear.
Cool. Yeah, I'll try to be quick on this. Basically, we built this thing called OX Arcade. It's a platform that allows you to play like really simple web games based around art. And then as you play those games, you can climb a leaderboard. You can actually submit your scores on chain. So you can actually, kind of earn rewards. We had these things called tickets. So you would earn rewards and tickets just like you would at like an old school arcade. And then you could actually exchange those tickets for crates filled with real art from real artists. That was the concept. So we built a little proof of concept inside the arcade called Know Your Memes, which was based on 6529 collection meme cards. And you're kind of given a card. You were asked to guess the name of the artist, the title, the supply, and the artist, the title, the supply, and the season. And then you earned your tickets and you could reward. In terms of like the project, it was awesome to do this. Like the hackathon was great. I love hackathons. I think hackathons are, kind of the start of so many great ideas. And it's cool to kind of now see all these ideas come together. For us, like for future plans, obviously, first thing we're going to get this thing like up and running and on chain on mainnet so people can actually play it. We're looking for a couple other kind of like game ideas that we might add to it for launch to make it a little bit more interesting. And then we're actually going to start buying art from artists to try to, get the prize pool set up. And then probably the big thing, the last part is just like we're kind of looking at options on this. I think I have some cool ideas, but like we want anyone to be able to submit a game, right? So the proof of concept was Know Your Memes. The platform is OX Arcade. So we're hoping that anyone that wants to kind of participate and that ecosystem can do that. And we've got some cool AI tools I think might actually help quite a bit with this to allow anyone to launch their own game based on art. So that's it. Thank you.
Awesome. So Scoble, are you looking for people to help bring their games, or are you looking for people to bring their games into this? Is that something that you would be actively like talking to people post the hackathon?
Yeah, I think so. I've talked to a couple people in here. I think, some people have really stuff I think that can kind of stand on their own. We'd love to figure out how to integrate, but I think that, some people have these like cool ideas like, hey, let's make this game based on a certain collection or a certain artist or, anything really that's on chain. And I think if they have that idea, and maybe they can't fully bring it to, a full blown project, they should chat with us and see if we can help them integrate it.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this go on because even with the initial, when you had showed me this project, the starting it with the 6529 memes, like we could launch it with 6529, and with his with memes, guaranteed that there's like a pretty strong community over there that would love the game, and then for 6529 and his organization. They would love to have grow the audience of people for really into the memes that they created. So I thought it was a really interesting combination of games, firing up the community that wants to that would be really involved in spreading the memes or the collection that they're part of, and so I think there's a lot of potential, and really excited to kind of really bring this into the limelight.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And I heard there might be some grant money going around, so you know how to find me, Hans.
Will do.
Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it. This is awesome. Thanks for putting this all together.
Thanks, Scoble. It's great having you up here, and thank you. Sweet. All right, so then we will go ahead and jump on into the next project. I need a drum roll effect. Do we have a drum roll effect? Some way of drumming it up. I wish I had a beatboxer or something. We could do something. All right, maybe somebody's secretly a beatboxer backstage. All right, who's it going to be? What's the next big project? NFT Animate. All right, to join us up here on stage is Summer Maxi. Summer Maxi, welcome to the stage.
So, hey guys, this is Summer Maxi here. Should I just talk about the project, Dan?
Yeah, absolutely. Would love to hear from it. And tell us about your project, any future plans, maybe some of the things you ran into, what you loved about Shapecraft, any of that.
Got it. So, I built the NFT Animate because I've seen many people NFTs are based on IPs, right? So people just buy NFTs and just use it as an art. But I think we can use NFTs as a way where we can interact with it as well. Because the reason is that I had a friend who sent me a Pudgy Penguin sticker, and he didn't know that it was a Pudgy Penguin itself. So I was so cool that, okay, the IP of an NFT is spread it for the pudgy penguins. It's like spread all over the world, even in the remote areas of India. Like people even send it without knowing that it's an IP from an NFT itself. So that's why I created an NFT Animate, and so that the people can animate and use their own NFTs to send as a stickers to their friends and family, or even in Twitter, or even in Discord, wherever they are, and they can just use it as their what do you say, their personal own NFT avatars and stuff. Because usually people already use their NFTs as a DP, but I think the next step would be like even using that NFTs as sending a message, where just simple, nothing fancy, but I think so that it will be like more people will know about these NFTs or characters and develop the IP itself. And for this project, I built on DeepL, and I think DeepL as a DeepL is so it has so many characters. It's like so unique for the DeepL characters, and I think they are cute enough to so that everyone will like it all around the world when it comes to DeepL. So that I really loved working on this for the project itself, with working with DeepL. And so once for the next version, I'm planning to do is like add more animations. Right now, it just has like a wave hand, but I think I'm planning to add more animation so that it can do more like jumping and whatever it may be that the users can actually create it. And yeah, that's all.
Awesome. Yeah, I was super excited about this project. I think it's difficult to necessarily be able to just walk in here and be able to animate these things, right? And animation is like a whole new area, like to be able to like take these collections and be able to bring them to life like that in a way that's like customizable. What kind of, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, developers and folks that would be curious, like what kind of technical challenges are there in terms of like animating this? Like how were you able to get it so like, because this worked with any DeepL, right?
Yeah, it works with any DeepL. So what I did is I backtracked. So in the DeepL website, I backtracked all the assets, so it was easy. So right now I'm still, so that's why I was able to do it. But I had a lot of problems in animating just the hand itself. So the next version I have to actually make it SVG so that I can able to do more work. But right now the challenge was because DeepL had so many so many extra, like for example he had like so many layers. I had to make sure that each layer has to stack based upon how whatever assets they choose, and the shirts or the pants or the shoes. So it was very hard in actually assembling the layers of the NFT. So that was the very hard part. And next, probably the hard part will be actually animating it. So that's going to be much more harder than doing just stacking the layers itself. So but I think but I think I'll be able to do it from what I understand. It's hard, but it's not impossible. I think we can do it so that whenever someone is like connecting their account, they'll be able to animate the NFTs and just download it or use it as a download as a GIF, and they can just have like a stack of all their GIFs and use it in online whenever someone is commenting. And the another thought was that even right now AI agents, they just reply in text, right? So if they let's say they have a DeepL NFT integrated, they can just have an API, so they can just reply in GIFs, like automatically they can just reply whatever they want in the GIFs itself. So that's another process which I was thinking, where because once the AI agents, they can just come in and just like purchase the DeepL and just like integrate the platform itself, and so it's easy for them to converse instead of just having it in text itself.
Yeah, this was really great to see with the DeepL project. When DeepLs were being designed, like one of the things that was one of the things that we clearly wanted was like animating the DeepL so that they become sprites and they can become playable in all the worlds that DeepLs can live in. And so when I saw this, I was like, yes, this is it. So thank you for making it.
Great.
And thanks, Summer Maxi, also for being the person who created the song that was the intro here. It's going to be stuck in my head. It was stuck in my head over the whole December break. Maybe because I was editing the video, but like January 9th, we wait. It's just been there the whole time.
I had fun creating that as well. So it was fun creating.
What was your favorite part about Shapecraft, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so actually it was calls with you and Cody. So I had calls. You guys had a calendar. So it was like, it's not just because usually when hackathons last like 2 days or 3 days, but with this hackathon it was like around 4 weeks. and you guys also had like calendar invites, and we were able to discuss and get feedbacks on our projects, and it was much more. What do you say? I was able to work with the team to see where we can improve, or any suggestions where we can improve in itself. So I think that was great experience. I've participated in a lot of hackathons, I think, but I think you guys have. I got much more better feedback from you guys in this hackathon than any other hackathons I had. So I would really. And also I was integrating. So I haven't worked with Alchemy before. So but while this is the first time I was able to use Alchemy, and I had a easy experience in integrating Alchemy with the project itself, and when using it. So I've implemented NFT APIs to fetch all the NFTs, and it was very easy to integrate with our platform itself. So yeah.
Yeah, I saw you got a count kit in there as well, which
Yep.
we were super excited about. Awesome. Yeah, super cool. Cool. Well, thank you so much for being up here. And thank you for everything that you did and making this hackathon what it is. So
Thank you guys. Thank you for giving this opportunity, and I'm really looking forward to the next version of building it.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks, Summer.
Cool. All right. Do we have a drum roll? Here we go. Next project. It's ShapeXP. All right, ShapeXP. And this is going to be with Attila. So we're going to bring Attila on stage. Welcome, Attila. How are you doing?
Hey. Yeah, great. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I appreciate it. Great.
Yeah, absolutely. Attila, do you want to tell us a little bit about ShapeXP?
Absolutely. So, yeah, ShapeXP is a cross-world NFT experience system. First, it was just started out as a utility. I wanted to design something which could be useful for any world, really, and play with ideas. And it turned out it is really hard to come up with something which you can integrate without affecting the fundamental gameplay of other games. So it was really challenging. So I designed this access system where if you hold an NFT, which acts like a key, the ShapeXP token, you gain access to an inventory where you can put your in-game items, which are also NFTs, and the logic which makes you able to level those items. So the vision was to build this globally accessible program where users could level up their gears, their items, and each world could look those levels and behave differently. So yeah, that was kind of the fundamental mechanic, and I shipped this hybrid engine which makes you able to load your game in an iframe and play with ShapeXP, the ShapeXP API, which essentially enables you to access these functions where you can track the experience of each user and try it out and see if it works for you, if it can enhance your game experience. So yeah, that's what ShapeXP is really about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you and I have talked about this project quite a bit back and forth, and I love all of your thinking around this. So do you mind telling people maybe what's going on here on the screen, and maybe like which part is the iframe, which part is replaceable by another project, which part like carries over from project to project?
Yeah, of course. So on the left side, I just use your project. So I just used an iframe there, and on the right side, we got some cool functionality, like you can connect and you can mint a ShapeXP token, and then you can just gain XP. And then we have this API you can trigger from the command line, and it works like if you plug your game into the iframe, you can essentially trigger these functions, and that's kind of the way it works. So it's a local environment you can play around with, and it makes it easy to just try out things, because that's what this prototyping and game development is all about. In this early stage, you're trying out stuff and see if it works for you, and we iterate on that. So yeah, that's how it works.
What I really found really compelling about this is the whole idea behind having a shared a data layer, basically reusable objects, shared data. For example, let's say you have the eye, and then the eye appears in different worlds. Then you use the eye in each of the worlds. The idea of creating a metadata layer on top, so that it tracks like gaining XP on that item that's been reused across worlds. I was like, whoa. When I first encountered the idea, I was like, oh, this is a breakthrough idea. It's an important glue that, if done right, has so much potential. So yeah, very, very excited. I was very excited to see this.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and you have a lot of future plans about this, right, Attila? You're still very much thinking about how this could work. I would love to see. I mean, I don't know, when Flash was a big thing, you used to go on the websites where there were like Flash arcades, and you could play all the different games, right? And I know there's still sites like this where you can play browser-based games, but I've never done anything where I can play one game and then the other game also has some sort of like connection to it, right? Via like, you gained XP over here, so it affects your, gameplay over here, right? That sort of thing. So we'd love to hear, maybe your future plans or what you loved about Shapecraft, whichever way you want to take it.
Sure. Yeah. So the future plans is like I'm working on these very small scale prototypes, similar to ShapeXP, and the methodology to plug these together and define new ways to make development work better in this collaborative environment, because it's really challenging to solo these things on your own and just try to build ideas from the ground up. So essentially, these are utilities for builders. That's sort of the plan, iterating on those. And yeah, regarding the thing I loved about Shapecraft, it's going to be a bit deep because, well, it is deep. Shapecraft is really deep. So I believe we're on the edge of this major shift in the video game business, which occurred many times in the past and will happen eventually. And I think Shapecraft was the very first step in this direction, where our focus changes from being competitive to a more collaborative mindset, which can have dramatic effect on our society, businesses, etc. So we're shifting from centralized business models to decentralized ones. And now we have the platform, the people behind Shapecraft and the Shape Network who understand this idea, will push this through. And I'm really honored being here to take part in something like this, because it's just amazing. We had all this amazing support from Alchemy. A huge shout out from Dan Nolan and the Shape team, by the way. It was just mind blowing. So yeah, that's it. It was really fascinating doing all this, pushing ShapeXP from zero to a utility for builders, and I'm looking forward to keep going this path. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Attila. That was, I got chills down my spine. Yeah. Imagining that this is the first step in something much, much larger would be, that would be mind blowing and my favorite thing ever. So that's just absolutely so cool. And I think it's interesting, right? And we've talked about this before, but I think it's interesting that a few years ago, the word metaverse got really, really big. We haven't heard it as much about it more recently. But the thing that was really missing, I think, is the interoperability, right? Because business models, when you get big, you shut down the walls, right? That's what you do. You create a moat and then you shut down the walls. But if you do something where from foundational, you are actually incentivized to collaborate, and you start there, right, with something like this, then we may see totally different game experiences. And yeah, thank you for saying that. I love hearing that this could be the start of something much bigger, and we look forward to your future plans. Han, anything more on that?
Then whenever I hear Attila talking about deep topics, yeah, definitely get the chills. Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, generally, a lot of the reasons why businesses and these business models kind of like become isolated, shut down things, is because of the incentives. The incentives are such that if you shut down, you earn more money. The thing that really changes the game here is essentially gas back, because if the more people use your contracts, your ideas, the more you get in gas back. And so that incentive just like completely flips everything. I think it will change and create so many interoperable such interesting worlds that that connect with each other. So I'm also really excited for it. And Attila, thank you for saying all that. It does give me chills to hear you say it, and I'm like, wow, we now have like shared mental models about all this stuff. And, really great.
We can do it.
Thanks,
Let's
Attila.
do it.
Cool. All right. Well, that was Attila for ShapeXP. So next one up. No, I can't do a drummer. I'm not going to try again. That was the last time. All right, here we go. Next one up is Gunner's Rewind. All right. So we got two people who are going to come up on stage for Gunner's Rewind. Here come Maxi and Luis. How you guys doing?
Hello, everyone.
Hey, we're all doing good.
Hey, how you doing? Cool.
Yeah.
So you guys want to introduce yourselves? Maybe tell us a little bit about yourselves and what is Gunner's Rewind?
Sure, yes. Well, this is our game, Gunner's Rewind. It's a roguelike, bullet hell type of game. So we made this game with my dad. We are a father-son team. And I worked on all the part of the design of the game. I am more into game design, and that is into blockchain. So he was in charge of all the NFT, and he also helped me a lot in the design of the project. Gave me ideas, and well, yeah. So the game basically it's about it's like any other roguelike. You enter the dungeon, you clear the different rooms, and you start getting more score points and getting higher in the completing different levels. And as you progress in normal roguelikes, once you die, you start all the way from the beginning. So in our game, we added the mechanic of checkpoints, and you can create your own checkpoints wherever you are in the game. And the way we implemented Shapecraft into this is that the checkpoints are NFTs that you have to mint before starting. And each time you are placing a checkpoint, what you're actually doing is updating the values of the NFT. So once you quit the game or anything, all the values are stored in that NFT. And that can explain how the NFT works better. So
yeah, we try to keep the NFT as the one holding all the values of the game at the moment of the checkpoint is set. So whenever you die, you can go back to that checkpoint. And of course, the checkpoint, the NFT could be used for other games. So the idea for future plans is to make it more stable, more neat, and share it with other projects, with other games that could use that checkpoint as well.
I wish I had incorporated a GIF into the slides here, because it's a cool battle technique that you guys have created as well, where you're like, what are those things that you're shooting at the enemies? They all kind of swarm you, and then you trade.
I'm still working on my pixel art skills, but yeah, so pretty much you're a gunner, so you are just shooting enemies, and you have all these different knights that are trying to stop you from reaching the end. So yes, it's just shooting them. And so the mechanic that we were trying to get to is that you are trying to get the fastest, like to complete each room the fastest you can, with the most amount of kills and with the more amount of life. So once you get to the end of the game, or once you get a really cool weapon, you can actually use your NFT and you could actually sell it, because it is something completely outside the game, and we are pretty much creating our own market around these NFTs. So when one player wants to play with some specific stats, you just give them your NFT and they can buy it, and they can just start from that specific point. So that's pretty much it.
And then I believe it's worth mentioning that we enjoyed the workshops. They were really good. and the one-on-one with you was awesome. So I really
So
really enjoyed
useful.
that part. Yeah. And as a father, I need to mention that because I'm very proud of Maxi, how he managed to learn a new coding language during the hackathon. He used to develop video games, or he is developing video games, but never with JavaScript, never online. So he learned that in probably a week and a half. So I'm pretty happy about him.
Yeah, the father son team is really impressive, and the use of when I saw this project, then I saw the use point of checkpoints for NFT and stored as an NFT and data as and state. Uh, I thought that was pretty novel, uh, and I could see like examples where it gets bought because it's like a flex. Like it has you could store like high scores on it, the score of the play, and then imagine in to give the right uh, analogy to this. Suppose it becomes like a really classic game. Uh, would you want to own the high score of all time for like Tetris? And guaranteed that there will be people who want to own that. And I mean, they may not have done it, but they want to own it. It's the high score for all time for Tetris, and it's like, yeah, this is it's almost like artwork in the sense that it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time to get there, and you could store those kinds of state. So when I saw the kind of data and state being persisted in NFTs like that, this was exactly what I had wanted to see in terms of like what NFTs could be, and it unlocks so many kind of like ideas and possibilities. So was really excited about this, and the game was pretty fun too. So that was amazing, loved it.
Yeah, thank you. We spent like the first probably 2 days or three maybe just planning out everything. So just designing the idea and the concept so that it could work in other games. So yeah, once you reach a really high score, other developers could use that NFT and translate it in their games as, I don't know, maybe by each 1,000 points in Pokemon, you could get this really rare Pokeball that you could trade by those score points, maybe, or well, there is a lot of different applications for these checkpoints. So, thanks.
Yeah, that's totally true because it's like proof of play, and then I mean certainly there are ways that it could be gamed, but with the proof of play, there's an audience that you could target, and it says like, oh, these are people who spent like a lot of time and a lot of effort on doing these things. So yeah, then you could that audience, when you build that community, it's an important. If somebody else wanted to build a game, it's like, oh, these are the people who are likely to play your game too. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I love that. I remember, so Maxi, I'm gonna guess your age, but you may not remember Blockbuster. But when I was a kid, Blockbuster was a thing, and that's where we used to go to rent video games. And one thing that blew my mind as a kid, and I asked my friends to make sure my parents weren't making this up, but Blockbuster used to do it where if you showed them your report card from school, like your grades, that if you had, I don't know what the grade was, but if you had like, I don't know, say a B or something on the report card, they would let you get one free rental for that like quarter or whatever. And to me, like that was just so weird that Blockbuster and school were like crossing, they were intersecting. And I loved it. I mean, it's great motivation, right?
That's cool.
So you can imagine something similar where it's like if all your checkpoints in games are available for people to like be able to reward you for that, you can imagine all kinds of interesting things, right? Like, I don't know, not being able to get access to go to a movie until you've beaten a certain level of a video game or something, right? And like the movie producers realizing, I mean, maybe that's not the best example because you kind of limit your audience, but the movie producers realizing like we need to target this audience of people who've gotten to this checkpoint, or like, yeah, it could be like some combination of real and physical and virtual. And or just games being able to say like, hey, you got to this checkpoint, so now come do this in our game, and we have a special place for you or a special item.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's super cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Max Luis. Awesome. All right. So next up, no drum roll, but get excited. Get excited. Put on your biggest excitement face. Here we go. Next up is Adventurers Arena. So we got to bring up Shiv Rai for this one. Shiv Rai, hey, how you doing?
Hello everyone, how are you all?
Hey. Shiv Rai, do you want to? Oh yeah, tell us about Adventurers Arena. What is this game? It looks super interesting. I'm sure for the first time that anyone's ever seen this. Yeah, go ahead, tell us about it.
Actually, the idea for this game actually came from an old game which I used to play as a kid, but it got shut down, and I've always wanted for it to come back, but somehow I feel like Shapecraft gave me an opportunity to create my own version with my own, favorites, and yes, I'm really thankful for the whole team, Dan and all of the Shape team, which provided us assistance, especially with the review sessions each Friday that were, all of us know how much time and effort it takes to review all the projects and help all the team members. But yes, thanks to you and your whole team, uh, I and my teammate Abhishek were successfully able to build this game, and both of us love it. And one of the important and enjoyable fact I would say is that you do not actually have to connect to Web3 or connect to wallet in order to play this, but it offers benefits for that. So it is not actually restricted, or it does not actually restrict you from playing. So the fun is still there if you, even if you can't connect your wallet or connect to blockchain, but there are benefits like the skin collections, and also you can register the winner on the blockchain, which can be used by other projects or other games for providing their own special features.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. I'm seeing a lot of games go in that direction. Like, I know there's like, man, I'm forgetting the name of it, but a new big battle royale that's coming out that has a Web3 integration. And what they did is basically, yeah, the same thing. You don't, as a user, right? You don't want to limit the number of people to like people who have downloaded a wallet or something like that, right? But if you know about the blockchain stuff and you want to take part in that, then it adds this extra element, this extra layer to the game. And I think for them, it's like these drops that you have to get while playing the battle royale, and then you can kind of extract them and then use them like elsewhere, and they have like some sort of an effect on your gameplay. You could sell them, you could trade them, you own those things. So I think that's super fascinating, this idea of like augmenting the gameplay with Web3 elements, things that you own and can be used elsewhere. So it's super cool. So maybe Shivrai, can I give my best sort of explanation of how this game works, and then you tell me what I got wrong? How's that?
Please go ahead.
Okay. All right. So you have up here in the top left, you have the yellow characters, and then in the bottom, you have the purple characters. Those are two different teams. One team starts off from the center bottom, and then the other team starts off from the center top, and two people connect. So you actually implemented this so two people can play against each other, and each one of these players has their own attributes. So the scout might be able to move any number of circles, right? And I think the heavy is only able to move one, but they have different attack attributes, and you can only use each one once. Once you get to the other enemy's circle, then you win, right? The game's over at that point. Is that correct? How's that?
Mostly correct, yes. But yeah, there is how to play if someone is wondering. On the homepage, there's a how to play, and to enhance what Dan said, the yellow pieces are actually your own piece. The purple pieces represent your opponents. Okay, there are two teams. One which will start from the top, the blue points. One which will start from the bottom, the green points. You have to put one of your points on the opponent's base, which is the center point. while protecting your own. The scout, in this case, can move across other pieces, while that is not an ability of other piece. So yes, each piece has its own unique attack power, HP, movement range, as well as a special ability. And you can use a piece more than once, but the thing is, if a piece is defeated, it goes into what I would say recovery, and another piece will have to take its place in order for it to come back. So yes, it depends on your strategy. How much are you willing to sacrifice pieces? How far are you willing to go in order to win?
Somebody's gonna have to play me in this game today. I'm super excited to try it. let's wager some meme coins on the result of this game, and we'll post it to the blockchain. I can't wait to try it. Super excited. Yeah, and then just to play it back to the augmenting with blockchain is skins, right? You get additional skins for these characters and for the background as well. It's mostly aesthetics. Is that correct?
Yes, because I believe that if like if you own something like the keys or the eye, then it should not actually hinder your logical game, like in this case, which might give other player unfair advantage. If that was the case, but since it is only limited to cosmetics, I don't believe it affects the game much.
Cool. Okay, well, that makes sense to me. Anything you want to ask on here, Han? Is there?
Yeah, there was also the part where you can register that you won on chain, right? That was another data that's persisted to the chain.
Yes, so like if both players agree, then the winner can be registered to the chain, which will actually mint a unique ERC20 token, as well as increase a variable of winnings of the winning player, both of which can be used for in other projects for more Web3 integration and providing features.
Yeah, I think when I saw this game and I saw the two examples of it, I realized that that there are going to be so many games that do this kind of persistence of state, and it's going to be really fun because like all this information is just going to be out there, can be reused and recombined, however people want to do it. And then, as we all know, skins are like it's big business in games, in modern games, and I think the default idea of a skin that is an NFT it's such a great idea, which has not really taken off in any meaningful way. But I hope that I myself haven't figured out like what is that kind of like breakthrough idea for like what is the next evolution or step or iteration for skins and that whole economy that has been created. Ultimately, skins are essentially you have a sense of self in a game, and then once you get to that point, which is very hard to do, but once you get to that point, you want to decorate yourself so that you look different. You can flex that you have certain things, and I wonder what that next step is. And this game, when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is like an interesting idea to explore, and I can't wait for you and others to figure out what that NFT angle is for the skin economy.
Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
been. Oh, sorry, Shivrai, go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
I was going to say, I've never been a huge NFT collector. I've collected a few, but not really a ton. So I definitely have a lot of friends who are way more into collecting than me, and I'm very specific with which ones I choose. But if I knew, for example, that like buying a lion meant this lion was going to follow me around in like every virtual world that I went to, or it gave me a skin in an adventures arena or whatever, I would buy it in a heartbeat. That'd be awesome. I could bring my virtual pet everywhere I go. Like there's something there with skins and the aesthetics, and even if it doesn't affect gameplay, like you said, just being able to flex and show and be able to see it reflected while you're playing one of your favorite games, I think is crucial.
Yes, because it kind of gets like special to you that yes, you possess this and you are able to show it. One of the ideas that we did not actually implement or did not get time to implement during the building process was for the users to, provide their own NFT as a skin. But during the process, we thought it will take a little bit more time than we have on the hand. So we were not able to implement it. But still, yeah, I believe that is still one possibility in this game.
Sweet. That would be awesome. We'd love to see the next developments of that. So let's continue talking on that. Shivrai, can you tell us maybe your favorite part about Shapecraft? What did you enjoy?
Uh, Absolutely, the review sessions. I know I have been to a lot of hackathons. I know the format of those, but yes, the review sessions, like I also told earlier, every one of us here knows how much energy and effort it takes to hold those sessions. And the Shape team did not hold them on just one day, but each Friday for all 4 weeks, which I personally felt grateful for to take your own time to provide us with reviews. Um yeah, that was personally one of my best moments to interact with the mentors, which included, of course, Dan, you, and also Cody. Really grateful for that. Yeah, all the interactions we had, all the reviews and all the feedbacks, they were really beneficial, and I believe that is the case for each and every team.
Well, thank you, Shivrai, and thank you for all of your energy that you brought into it, because it's the energy that you guys bring that we reflect back at you, and that gives us the ability to be able to be up here, host all of these things, do these sorts of events, and yeah, I had a blast, and this is just such a cool project. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shipwreck.
All right, here we go. Next project. Boom. Oh, it didn't happen because I got to press the arrow key. Okay. Shapecraft Survivors. So unfortunately, we do not have a speaker on this one. He is traveling at the moment, so we just couldn't make that work. I was hoping that he maybe hop in here. I don't know what he's going to do, like stop in his car and like call on the phone. But he said that if he was up here, that he would be an emotional wreck because this win meant so much to him. He was super, super excited. So that is in his words, and I wanted to relay that level of excitement and energy. This is a really cool project. For anyone who's played Vampire Survivors, it's very much like that. I immediately had a smile on my face as soon as I started playing it. What's really cool here as well, we mentioned it a little bit earlier, is that the key and the eye are actually implemented directly. You can see it in the screenshot a little bit. It's a little low, but you can see it in the inventory there. You can actually select them as your weapon. So if you have played Vampire Survivors, they have like different attributes for how they like attack the enemies, and you could level those up specifically. So if you have NFTs, you get new inventory slots, new things you could put in your inventory slots, and you could bring them over. I could even imagine, and I'm going out on a limb here, but I could even imagine earning EXP here or taking your EXP from a different game via Shape XP, and maybe your eye is leveled up in Shapecraft Survivors. So maybe that's something Attila and Shapecraft Survivors team can work on together. That would be super cool. We'd love to see that. Yeah, just generally blown away by this project. Again, one thing I do want to add too, for any of the projects, by the way, you guys can check these out. Go to alchemy.com/university and then click on projects. And then you could filter for Shapecraft projects, and you'll find all of these, and you could try playing them. So definitely do that. They're live. So definitely try these out. So I know I should have put a little movie here or something, because these are super fun to play.
I got really into this game. So like it's such a it's like a frantic pace, and you're like running away, and trying to find a path and collect all the coins, and and then when you upgrade the weapons, I was like I was really attached to the weapon because like I'm trying to survive and the weapons are helping me. And I think the taco dog, I think that was the thing, right? The taco dog. I felt like they were actually like my dogs. They're like going after the enemy and like protecting me. And I was like, when I could get the second taco dog, I was like, yes, I got the second one. I yeah, highly recommend people playing it because like I mean all the games and worlds that people have created here. Uh, I need to cough. Yeah, I got really into this game. It was really fun, and I would have been amazing to be with the person who made it and share all the gushing and good words about it. But yeah, it was great.
We'll definitely coordinate that meeting offline. And yeah, no, I love the idea of the taco dog, like almost being like your dog. So when I was really young, I used to love making games in RPG Maker. That was like my go-to program for making games. And the first thing I did was like I had this idea of a game where like if you just look for this one pixel, you could find it. It was like a little rope. And if you ever found it, you knew you can go down into this like Yoshi arena and battle Yoshis, and your specific Yoshi would level up. And then whenever you played in the game, in the real game, your Yoshi could come in and like save you and attack and do things. And so you get really attached to like this idea of like a pet that just sort of like follows you around, like like almost like alternately, like in a different world. And that's sort of like, yeah, you can imagine the taco dog being like a collection that like comes with you to Shapecraft Survivors and saves you from all these like zombies and everything. Yeah, I love that. Super cool. Awesome. All right. So now we move on to the top prizes. There are 2 top prizes. So we got 2 final speakers left, and this is where we need the biggest drum roll or the biggest excitement. I don't know how to summon more excitement. Maybe I'll mute myself and I'll scream, and you'll see it in my face. Here there it is. I tried to give you guys the most exciting.
Dan, you're a great MC.
I don't know what to do up here. I'm floundering. All right, here we go. Here it comes. The big top prize goes to Heavy Helms. Heavy Helms. We got Rory coming up on stage. Rory, welcome to the stage.
Hey, thanks, guys. Yeah, I am actually super excited. I'm trying to control myself. Everyone watching, just so you know, they didn't let us know what prizes we had won. So this is the first time that I am actually seeing this, and to define this as a passion project feels like an understatement. This is something that I've really been, over my very long period of playing games, from pen and paper, Dungeons and Dragons sort of experiences. This sort of game, this turn-based sort of experience has been in my head. And blockchain came along, and what do? We're humans. We make games off of technology. That's just what we do. That's the first thing we do. And I had this sort of idea in my head. Unfortunately, 3+ years ago, this just wasn't possible. These gas costs and, to deploy some of these contracts was so expensive. As I kind of got into this hackathon, things started to become unlocked, and I was able to start fighting these guys and not just look into a simulation. But then I started to realize, like, you know what? Blockchain is a really good medium to store my game engine. And the reason being is that I figured out that I don't need to make state changes to use my game engine, which really just kind of unlocked a whole bunch of things. I literally just wasn't able to sleep because this code was just coming out of me, and I just had to like share this with the world. And the biggest thing, there's a couple things that I really wanted to get across, and the biggest thing is I've been coding in blockchain for a little while. The hardest thing is to onboard users. It seems like that wall that we just can't get past. My biggest lift here was to try and get people into blockchain without even realizing they're in blockchain and without even realizing the tech that is running this. I'm just really excited that I feel like I was able to kind of start chiseling away at some of those sort of non-traditional gaming experiences that we've seen on the blockchain. The other idea is I really want traditional gamers to understand that blockchain gaming is fun and it's exciting, and we can have these experiences on chain. The biggest thing I think is it's really tough to sell traditional gamers on the term NFT. So what I tried to do was introduce skins, and that there's a ton of tech involved in this. I don't have nearly enough time. If anybody wants to DM me and talk about this, like I am very, very passionate about this, where this sort of stuff can take us. The idea being is that you can create a player and you can try the game out. But once you start to kind of get into it, you can not only buy skins, but artists can make other skins and submit them to our game. All of this happens through the contract. So it's its own marketplace. Yeah, I am over the moon right now, guys. Shapecraft, few of the reasons, the length of this allowed me to have the scope. Still blew my scope out of the water, but with a week-long or a weekend hackathon, I couldn't even begin to kind of scratch the surface of this. So Shapecraft, the longer form hackathon turned out to be amazing, and it really helped. A lot of these tutorials, a lot of those resources that you guys put up, I was able to catch some of them live, but to be able to have those resources that was very specific. Dan, you did amazing with some of those tutorials. Yeah, and to kind of wrap it up, Shapecraft, I think that I'm just amazed with some of these projects, and I love hackathons because it makes people just think of these sort of non-traditional things. I just want to congratulate all the other projects, all the other winners. This is amazing. To deploy all this stuff, I think was under $1 after like 9 contracts. These fights to create a character, I think it was around 2 or 3 cents, depending on mainnet gas. So the idea where we have a balanced game where we can pull people into it for very low to no cost. They can try it out. The interesting thing, I had people who have no idea about a wallet, no idea what this was, and they watched it and they looked at it and it piqued their interest. And to me, that is a huge thing. And I just want to kind of continue to develop this and see where these sorts of communities can go and grow. Yeah, I should wrap it up because I could talk for 10 hours about this stuff, but just really appreciate it. Thanks for everyone involved, all of the tutorials, all of the help, the Shape team, the Alchemy University team. And sorry, one final thing, just remember that like when I went through Dan's course, and it wasn't Alchemy University at the time, but I remember at the time being like, come on, let's just get through to the solidity. I don't care about all this bytes and these stacks. And, I just want to code this solidity. But without all of that stuff, none of this would have been possible because I'm doing quite a bit of bytes packing and decoding that made it possible just to understand those sort of basic concepts. So shout out to Dan and Alchemy University and all the knowledge that they're bringing to all these people. Thank you. Appreciate you guys listening to me ramble.
That's so cool that it only cost under $1 because I know it was like 900 lines of Solidity or something to like get the game engine on here. It was not a small piece of code.
Exactly. Yeah. It's quite a bit, but with these L2, the Optimism super chains are, they're amazing.
I love this concept. Somebody said this with an earlier DApp that like once you deploy something to like a smart contract to the chain, this is now something that's changed us. Now Shape has a game engine inside of it, right? Like there's a game engine inside of the computer that is Shape. That is just so cool that exists now. And yeah, Rory, specifically, when we did project review sessions, you chose a project review session where you saw somebody hadn't taken the second one, so we could go over, so we could talk about bytes packing. So I know how much you enjoy that, and you really thought a lot about the solidity, how you could save gas for users, how you could save gas for deployment, how you could really just make the code as good as possible. But not only that, I mean, the UI really blew us away here as well. This screenshot doesn't really do it justice, but people definitely check out, again, go to the projects on Alchemy University and check this out. These two characters actually battle, and all of the attacks, every single attack that happens on chain, and you can watch it, the whole replay, and it comes back as a byte stream, right? That then gets parsed and rendered on the game itself here. So super, super cool. Love everything you did here, Rory. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much, Dan.
Roy, I was really impressed with like the technical details here. There's so much potential for blockchains to change what games could be, and I think we went through a period of, I would say, the last cycle where NFTs got a bad rap. And largely because of a lot of like degen things that people did, as degens will do, and then I think we're seeing actually the light. Whenever I see a game forum these days and somebody mentions NFTs, like half of the people are like, "Oh God, NFTs again," and then the other half are like, "Wait a second, guys, this is." If you really look into it, like, do you want a single company to control this thing that you put a lot of money into, or do you want an object that actually exists and it's out there and nobody controls it? And I feel like the tide is shifting, and the moment is now. And the level of polish and all the technical details that were in this thing, I was very impressed with this project. And yeah, definitely. With you and of course everybody here, I'm really excited to like take it to the next step, and so yeah, very excited for this.
Me as well. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Rory. Yeah, I think something that was interesting, I heard recently from a game studio exec on a podcast somewhere. There's like basically saying that the expectations of the younger generation are changing in terms of games, and this idea that you don't own the items that you earned or paid for in game is like weird to them now. It's like, I don't, that's it's interesting that it might just be a generational thing, but if you have so much value, or you associate so much value with the things that you have in the virtual worlds, then it's only natural that you would think like, I own this thing. Like, what do you mean? Like, I should have rights over this. So yeah, I love that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the sovereignty of the things that you own. It really is. It gives me hope that that generation actually thinks that way, because if it becomes the majority thinking, it will change everything. And the tech is already here for all of that to happen. So really excited for it.
Yeah, cool. All right, last one. I did like a scream for Rory's project. I muted myself. I didn't actually scream though. Yeah, I gotta tell you, there's like, I think I would have like alerted neighbors or something if I had actually screamed, but I made it look like I screamed. So if you guys were fooled, that was my acting. I've been working on my acting for some time now. All right, what can I do for the last one? I don't even know. Like hood up, like I don't know. What do we do? It's like, here we go. Like mysterious. What's going to be the last project? Maybe people already know. Here we go. The wave casts over. Here it is. Zero-Sum Pact. Zero-Sum Pact joining us here is Uben Hash, who told me I could pronounce their pseudonym however I like. So it is Uben Hash. Uben Hash, you are joining us up on stage. How are you doing?
Hello, everyone. It definitely exceeded my expectation to actually win this. Like my teammate has been asking me like, can we be the first place? Can we win a top prize? And I was like, no, there are lots of competition here, and yeah, it really feels great to win. And so let me talk about the project a bit. So we are creating like a game and an NFT collection here, and I'm responsible for the game development part, and my teammate, who's an artist, works on the art aspect, and we work in parallel. So this game is like a fully on-chain board game that explore the theme of greed and collaboration. And so the rules are very simple. Basically, the players compete for limited resource, which are the dots that you can see on the board, and they can fetch the dots from the board, or they can attack one another. They can collaborate to rob another player to split the earning, and they can build shield using the autumn molecules. And there are various strategies that they can take in this game. And basically, they gain dots to level up, and they lose dots, they level down. And we have designed the ending conditions and rewards such that the players are not entirely like a competitive relationship. There is potential for them to collaborate, and we really want to put them in a situation where, like, if everyone is greedy and if no one locks in their level, the game might potentially go on forever and no one will be able to claim the reward, and someone have to take a step back or do some compromise. And also, the game is basically token gated by our NFT collection that we created. The NFT collection is something that explore on the theme of war and conflict. So all the traits are related to like various scars on war. So you can see traits like a shattered family or an innocent child who is being pointed at with a gun and stuff like that. So we want like the game and the NFT to convey the theme that like the infinite greed might lead to conflict, and sometimes we have to collaborate to have a better ending.
The amount of complexity that you managed to get here into this project is astounding. And I'm also astounded by the humility that you and your artist have in terms of, recognizing the potential that your game has here. For anybody, like I mentioned, check these games out, play with them, play with all the projects. Like I said, every project blew me away. What you guys did here, especially, and the website looks amazing. The art is all from scratch, which is just, it looks great. Probably one of the better looking websites that I've ever been to. And it's a game with a thematic idea behind it. Not only that, but you guys have also baked in here, like you said, like token gating via NFT that you can mint on the site, but also with the key, you get a special maze that you can enter with other people there. As well as the eye has like a special, I don't know if you could see it on here, but has
right, on the right side, like you can increase your stride by equipping an eye.
There we go. Yeah, is it here on this screenshot? Maybe not.
Yes, it's actually it's below the level.
Okay.
There's a little plus button.
There's also one other factor that I don't even think you mentioned in here, which is this idea that you have programmatic rules, programmable rules, where you can actually have a governor decide to change the laws of the game, right? So, and you had some ideas around that. It reminds me, this is the closest thing I think I've seen since Dark Forest, which is absolutely my favorite game on chain. If anyone's never played Dark Forest, go find something that'll explain to you what Dark Forest is. It's super, super cool. But it feels very similar in that, like, Dark Forest, this is amazing job of creating a game that was engaging on chain, but also everything was, programmable. You could program in new rules. You could collaborate with other people, like you're mentioning here, like this idea of like doing off-chain sort of collaborations to try to work together with people. You guys have thought through all of that, and then a governor can actually come in and change all the rules. I think that's super fascinating, and yeah, I'm just in awe of all of that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
And
go ahead.
you can go first.
Oh no, please go.
So as for the next step, we're thinking about so currently, like, we have everything on Sepolia, and we're thinking about the next step will be to launch the collection officially on mainnet and invite more people to join the game. And we hope everything works out well, because like I've only ran the entire game through my head, and I'm not sure like what will happen when people actually play and compete in it. So if you see any loopholes, possible ways that people might win in an expected way, just please let me know.
And that's the fun part, when ideas clash with reality, and that's when the fun begins. I was really impressed with this project. The depth of the whole package here was really impressive, and also the kind of like the way that you described it as this like slow-paced correspondence game, that it almost is the ideal form of a board game on chain, and I think if we basically would love to figure out like the launch structure of all this stuff, and then a lot of the people who are into Shape are going to really resonate with this type of game, and so I think it's going to be really cool. The other part of the usage of NFTs that I found was really cool was to use to get the shield, you have to burn autumn molecules. And so like I was like, yeah, that's a really cool idea. And burning it is sending it to the contract. So yeah, your contract might pile up a lot of autumn molecules.
Yeah, I was thinking about whether we should actually burn it or send it to a contract, but I decided maybe I should store it in my contract first, and maybe we can send use those as future reward or something like that. So yeah, it's not like real burning.
Yeah, I think it's a cool idea. The whole idea behind Autumn is and still remains this kind of like crafting. It's the foundation of the crafting world. So yeah, your contract may end up being one of the bigger, autumn molecule holders, and you could, and when people need specific autumns, they'll like, play the game or something, and then like they can win autumn molecules that they need for other worlds. So yeah, this is I found this to be a very deep project, and yeah, very well done.
Okay, thank you.
Ruben Hash, what was your favorite part of Shapecraft?
I would say I really like the tutorial series. Like, although like we didn't end up actually using Phaser, like it's good. It's good technology to learn, and I think I might actually use what I learned in future hackathons. So yeah, that's my favorite part. And also, this is my first time using like the Gold Sky indexing service, which is also something I learned from the workshop series. And it's always good to learn new stuff.
This, despite not using Phaser, is this canvas here that you've rendered all the dots and everything on? Is that how you did that, or is it pure HTML?
It's pure HTML.
Oh wow. Oh, that's super interesting.
Mhm.
Super cool. Yeah, really impressed with all of it. Thank you so much for being up here with us, Ubinash.
Thank you.
Sweet. Okay. Well, that is Shapecraft. Thank you all so much for being here with us. This was the first ever Alchemy University hackathon that we've done, hosted on the platform, and I was just, really happy to have found somebody to work on this with. So the entire Shape team has just been tremendously helpful in making this happen. I know a lot of people have given me kudos for the workshops and the reviews on Fridays, but most of the work that goes into running a hackathon like this is all this stuff that happens behind the scenes, all the coordination, all of the, making sure that the user flows work, thinking through all the prizes and guidelines, everything that goes into it. And just a tremendous shout out to all the folks on the Shape team who really helped out and just made this possible. Thank you guys for sponsoring the entire event. For I'm blown away that we were able to make something like this happen. As Attila said, this could be the first step in a revolution in Web3 gaming. I think that is quite possibly true. I mean, maybe I'm overly optimistic there, but that would be my favorite thing. And I think that with all this energy that we're coming out of this with, I would love to continue working with all of you guys on your ideas and see them through to fruition. I also want to thank all the judges for helping out, and because that was super hard to judge these projects. You guys made it really difficult. There was actually less projects than I thought there were going to be with the 28 that we had here, but among the projects that we had, there was way more quality than I was anticipating. You guys absolutely blew our minds. I was just so glad to see everything that came out of here, and thank you all once again. Yeah. What are you thinking, Han?
Oh, likewise. I'm so glad that we worked with you, Dan, Cody, and the entire Alchemy team to launch our first hackathon and Shape. I couldn't. I mean, I don't think it would have been possible to pull it off with you guys. And I mean, I'd say the. I mean, you said that we did a lot of work, but you guys did so much work to get this right. And so I really appreciate you guys. And all the submissions, all of the creators and builders, I'm so humbled by the things that you have created. I mean, especially the projects that we just reviewed today. Each of them, at its kernel, at its core, has something quite important that we could. This is the beginning, as in the projects that were submitted in their early forms. This is the beginning of each project where I'm extremely looking forward to how we can support each of these teams and make it into a production thing that becomes like a real project. That I mean, in the thing that has been, I guess, not surprising, but has become, I've noticed, it's become very notable in these chats that we just had. Is like all of these projects are projects of passion, like things that sometimes people have been thinking about for years and years, and I want to. I mean, you guys are the people that I want to work with to kind of make all of that real. And so we'll be in touch with all the future details. Of course, the prize distribution details, etc. But ultimately, we want to put the full power of Shape behind each of the projects and make it like really successful. And so I'm excited for it. All these projects are incredible. Thank you very much for all the time that you've put into it, and truly excited for the worlds that we'll build together.
Okay, can we try something here to close out? I want to bring everybody who's still backstage. I think I think we have almost all the finalists back here. Everybody who's backstage, I want to bring you all up on stage. I don't know how many we're allowed to put on stage. I think it's 10, but I'm going to try to put you all on stage. And then on the count of 3, let's all say Shapecraft. Are you guys ready? I don't know how this is going to go. Here we go. Even Cody, you're going to join us? I don't know if he's...
I'm here.
Yes.
Let's go.
Oh, do we have exactly 10? Oh, we have 9. Okay, this is like, is Brady Bunch, you know, they had the Brady Bunch? 9. This is what it feels like right now. Okay, guys, you ready? On the count of 3, let's all say Shapecraft and say it nice and loud and proud. 1, 2, 3. Shapecraft!
Let's go.
Thank you, everybody.
Amazing.